Tensions have escalated along the disputed border between Thailand and Cambodia. As fighting erupted between the two nations' military forces, the conflict, which has been simmering for years, reached a boiling point when Thai military forces launched strikes against Cambodian targets in the contested region. The disputed area, located near the ancient Preah Vihear Temple complex, has long been a source of contention between the two Southeast Asian countries. Both Thailand and Cambodia claim sovereignty over the territory, leading to periodic outbreaks of violence and diplomatic tensions. According to reports from local sources, the latest round of hostilities began when Thai troops allegedly crossed into Cambodian territory. In response, Cambodian forces engaged the Thai military, resulting in a fierce exchange of gunfire and artillery shelling. The Thai military, citing national security concerns, justified their actions as necessary to protect their country's territorial integrity. They claimed that Cambodian forces had been encroaching on Thai soil and conducting provocative maneuvers in the area. Cambodian officials, however, vehemently denied these allegations and accused Thailand of aggression. They maintain that their troops were simply defending their sovereign territory from what they perceive as an unlawful incursion by Thai forces. As the conflict intensified, both sides reportedly deployed additional troops and heavy weaponry to the border region. Eyewitnesses described the sound of explosions and gunfire echoing across the landscape, while plumes of smoke could be seen rising from targeted areas. The international community has expressed deep concern over the escalating situation. Neighboring countries and regional organizations have called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and urged both Thailand and Cambodia to return to the negotiating table. The United Nations has also weighed in on the matter, emphasizing the need for a peaceful resolution to the border dispute. UN officials are reportedly working behind the scenes to facilitate dialogue between the two nations and prevent further bloodshed. As the fighting continues, there are growing fears of a humanitarian crisis in the affected areas. Local residents have been forced to flee their homes, seeking safety in makeshift shelters or with relatives in more secure locations. The economic impact of the conflict is also a cause for concern, with cross-border trade and tourism in the region coming to a standstill. Both Thailand and Cambodia stand to suffer significant economic losses if the situation is not resolved swiftly. As night falls on the disputed border, the sound of gunfire can still be heard in the distance. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution to this latest flare-up in the long-standing Thai-Cambodian border dispute. In a shocking turn of events, a Cambodian missile has crashed into neighboring Thailand, resulting in numerous casualties and widespread destruction. The incident, which occurred earlier today, has sent shockwaves through both nations and raised serious concerns about regional security. Eyewitnesses report seeing a bright streak across the sky moments before a deafening explosion rocked the area. The missile, believed to have been launched from a military facility in Cambodia, veered off course and crossed the border into Thailand before impact. The exact location of the crash site has not been officially disclosed, but local media outlets suggest it struck a densely populated area. Thai authorities have scrambled emergency response teams to the affected region, with rescue workers battling through debris and chaos to reach survivors. Hospitals in nearby provinces have been put on high alert, preparing for an influx of injured civilians. The full extent of the casualties remains unclear, but initial reports indicate a significant loss of life and hundreds of injuries. The Cambodian government has issued a brief statement expressing deep regret for the incident and pledging full cooperation with Thai officials in the investigation. However, questions are already being raised about the circumstances leading to this catastrophic error. Military experts speculate that a malfunction in the missile's guidance system, or human error during a training exercise, could be potential causes. Thailand's Prime Minister has called an emergency meeting of the National Security Council to address the crisis. In a televised address, he assured citizens that all necessary measures are being taken to manage the situation and provide aid to those affected. The Thai military has also been placed on high alert, with border patrols intensified as a precautionary measure. International reaction has been swift, with neighboring countries and global powers expressing concern over the incident. The United Nations has called for calm and offered assistance in mediating discussions between Cambodia and Thailand. Meanwhile, ASEAN members are convening an urgent meeting to discuss the implications for regional stability. As night falls, the full impact of this tragedy is still unfolding. Families anxiously await news of loved ones while emergency services continue their tireless efforts. The coming days will be crucial in determining the long-term consequences of this unprecedented event on Cambodia-Thailand relations and the broader Southeast Asian geopolitical landscape. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers posed by military activities and the importance of stringent safety protocols. As investigations begin and diplomatic channels open, the world watches closely, hoping for a peaceful resolution to this unexpected crisis. The Thai-Cambodia border conflict has escalated into a full-scale war, with both nations engaging in military actions that have resulted in significant casualties and damage to civilian infrastructure. The situation took a dire turn when Cambodian forces launched an attack on a Thai hospital near the border, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. The attack on the hospital, which occurred in the early hours of the morning, caught Thai authorities off guard. Reports indicate that multiple rockets and artillery shells struck the medical facility, causing extensive damage to the building and surrounding areas. The number of casualties is still being determined, but initial estimates suggest dozens of patients and medical staff have been killed or injured in the assault. Thai Prime Minister expressed outrage at the targeting of a civilian medical facility, calling it a heinous act of aggression and a clear violation of international law. The Thai government has vowed to respond with force to protect its citizens and territorial integrity. In response to the hospital attack, Thai military forces launched a series of counterattacks against Cambodian positions along the border. Thai fighter jets conducted airstrikes on suspected Cambodian military installations, while ground troops engaged in intense firefights with Cambodian soldiers. The conflict has its roots in long-standing territorial disputes between Thailand and Cambodia, particularly over the area surrounding the ancient Preah Vihear Temple. Tensions have been simmering for years, with occasional skirmishes and diplomatic standoffs, but the current outbreak of hostilities marks a significant escalation. International reaction to the conflict has been swift, with neighboring countries and global powers calling for an immediate ceasefire and a return to diplomatic negotiations. The United Nations Security Council has convened an emergency session to address the situation and explore potential peacekeeping options. As the fighting continues, there are growing concerns about the humanitarian impact on civilians in the border region. Thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in makeshift camps or with relatives in safer areas. Aid organizations are scrambling to provide assistance to those affected by the conflict, but access to the most heavily impacted areas remains challenging due to ongoing military operations. The economic consequences of the war are also becoming apparent, with both countries experiencing disruptions to trade and tourism. The conflict has sent shockwaves through regional financial markets. As investors worry about the potential for wider instability in Southeast Asia, as night falls on the embattled border region, the sound of gunfire and explosions continues to echo across the landscape. With both sides seemingly entrenched in their positions, the prospect of a quick resolution to the conflict appears dim. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a diplomatic breakthrough that can bring an end to the bloodshed and pave the way for lasting peace between Thailand and Cambodia. Tensions are escalating along the Thai-Cambodian border as military forces from both nations engage in a show of force. When a dramatic development, Thai F-16 fighter jets have taken to the skies, while Cambodian forces have responded by firing multi-barrel missiles. This sudden surge in military activity has raised concerns about the stability of the region and the potential for further escalation. The Thai Air Force, in a display of its aerial capabilities, scrambled a squadron of F-16 fighter jets from a nearby airbase. These advanced combat aircraft, known for their versatility and firepower, were seen patrolling the airspace near the disputed border areas. The roar of their engines echoed across the landscape, serving as a clear message of Thailand's readiness to defend its territorial integrity. Not to be outdone, Cambodia has responded with its own demonstration of military might. Reports indicate that Cambodian armed forces have deployed and fired multi-barrel rocket launcher systems. These weapons, capable of unleashing a barrage of missiles in rapid succession, were aimed at predetermined targets near the border. The thunderous explosions and plumes of smoke rising from the impact zones have heightened the already tense atmosphere. The border region between Thailand and Cambodia has long been a source of contention, with both countries claiming sovereignty over certain areas. This latest military posturing has reignited concerns about the fragile peace in the area. Local residents on both sides of the border have reported increased military presence and activity, causing anxiety among communities that have already endured previous conflicts. International observers are closely monitoring the situation, fearing that any miscalculation or misunderstanding could lead to a more serious confrontation. Diplomatic channels are reportedly working overtime to de-escalate tensions and prevent further military buildup. However, the continued presence of armed forces and the recent shows of firepower have made negotiations increasingly challenging. The economic implications of this border tension are also becoming apparent. Trade and tourism, vital components of both countries' economies, have been disrupted as border crossings face increased scrutiny and temporary closures. Local businesses and communities that rely on cross-border commerce are already feeling the pinch of these heightened security measures. As night falls on the border region, the skies remain vigilant, with Thai F-16s maintaining their patrols. On the ground, Cambodian forces stand ready, their missile systems primed for potential action. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail and that diplomacy can find a path to de-escalation before the situation spirals out of control. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether this show of force will lead to meaningful dialogue or further military confrontation. For now, the border between Thailand and Cambodia remains a flashpoint. With the threat of conflict looming over the lush landscapes and ancient temples that have long defined this historic region, tensions have escalated along the disputed border between Thailand and Cambodia, as fighting erupted between the two neighboring countries. The Thai military launched strikes against Cambodian targets, marking a significant escalation in the long-standing territorial dispute. The conflict centers around a contentious stretch of land near the ancient Preah Vihear Temple complex, which has been a source of disagreement between Thailand and Cambodia for decades. Both nations claim sovereignty over the area, leading to periodic outbreaks of violence and diplomatic tensions. According to reports from local authorities, the latest round of hostilities began when Thai forces allegedly crossed into territory claimed by Cambodia. In response, Cambodian troops engaged the Thai military, resulting in an exchange of gunfire and artillery shelling. The Thai military, citing national security concerns, initiated a series of targeted strikes against what they described as strategic Cambodian positions. These actions have raised alarm among international observers and regional peacekeeping organizations, who fear the conflict could spiral into a broader confrontation. Eyewitnesses in the border region reported hearing explosions and seeing plumes of smoke rising from areas hit by artillery fire. Local residents on both sides of the border have been forced to evacuate their homes, seeking shelter in makeshift camps away from the conflict zone. The Cambodian government has strongly condemned the Thai military's actions, describing them as a violation of international law and an infringement on Cambodian sovereignty. Phnom Penh has called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and urged the international community to intervene. Thailand, for its part, maintains that its military operations are defensive in nature and necessary to protect its territorial integrity. Thai officials have accused Cambodian forces of provocative actions and unauthorized incursions into Thai-controlled areas. The United Nations and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations have expressed deep concern over the outbreak of violence. Both organizations are calling for restraint and urging Thailand and Cambodia to return to the negotiating table to resolve their differences peacefully. As the situation remains volatile, there are fears that the conflict could have wider implications for regional stability. The border dispute has the potential to strain diplomatic relations, not only between Thailand and Cambodia, but also among other Southeast Asian nations. International mediators are working to broker a ceasefire and facilitate dialogue between the two countries. However, the deep-rooted nature of the territorial dispute and the historical animosities involved make finding a lasting solution a challenging prospect. As the world watches anxiously, the hope is that cooler heads will prevail, and that Thailand and Cambodia can find a way to de-escalate tensions and resolve their differences through peaceful means. The coming days will be crucial in determining whether this latest flare-up can be contained, or if it will lead to a more protracted and dangerous confrontation in Southeast Asia.